Hello, everyone. Before I start the episode, I just want to address something that caught my attention at noon today, and it didn't feel right to just make the episode and not addressing it. And I just want to send my thoughts and my condolences and my prayers to Dion Henley, Chargers linebacker, one of my favorite players on this team. In fact, he tragically lost his brother earlier this morning, and to somebody who has a sibling, I can't imagine how hard that would be. And yeah, I know we all, you know, criticize football players and, make memes and you make jokes and, we praise them to be entertainers and all that other stuff, but they're human beings, number one. And, when stuff like this occurs, it's really important to understand that, it means way more than the game. So with that being said, I just want to send my condolences to him and his family through this horrible time. And yeah, you got my support. Always. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Thunderstruck podcast with Tori. This is episode 13 of me talking about all things Los Angeles Chargers related. And this week we are going to preview Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. They are in Tennessee, and there's a lot of things at stake. One, another win would definitely help our playoff chances as always. But at the same time, how are the Chargers going to overcome more injuries that they just suffered, even though they just had a mini bye week, a 10-day bye week, matter of fact? Unfortunately, Hassan Haskins is out with a hamstring for at least 4 weeks. So now running back number 1, running back number 2, and running back number 4 is out for the Chargers. And one of them is out for sure for the whole season. So how are the Chargers going to adjust to that? I also want to address the elephant in the room when it comes to record books. This man right here, Keenan Allen, has a chance to get the most catches ever by a Chargers player in franchise history. Now, it's interesting if that's going to happen in Tennessee or they save it and he only gets like a few catches and not quite the record until he gets back in LA versus the Steelers. But we'll see how that turns out. And how are the Chargers going to capitalize on offense with new opportunities for players to step up, more opportunities for people to be more consistent? And Chargers are playing the Tennessee Titans this week, and it is a team that has been honestly looking worse than their previous year, and that really does speak wonders because they weren't that good last year. In fact, they got the number 1 pick in the draft, and they selected Cam Ward with that pick, who showed some flashes, but again, he's in a system that is really corrupt right now when it comes to the Tennessee Titans. In fact, their head coach is fired not too long ago, and actually the intern head coach of the Tennessee Titans is Mike McCoy, which was the same head coach for the San Diego Chargers when I became a fan of them back in 2013. So safe to say I'm pretty familiar with this Mike McCoy, and very interesting what is going to happen 10 a.m. tomorrow, West Coast time. Chargers versus Titans, and the Chargers still showing that, they're still competitive when it comes to the playoff race, but they are also facing devastating injuries left and right. And how will they overcome it? Well, Dean Leonard looks like he's set to return. He's marked questionable, I believe, but he's set to return. And thankfully, I'm actually really thankful that this happened, that Derwin James, who looked to me like he sprained his ankle pretty badly last Thursday night football game against the Minnesota Vikings. And man, that would have just sent me, that I would have cried if I'm being honest with you. But it seemed like he is fully ready to go tomorrow. Amazing that he recovered that fast. But at the same time, I really want to see the Chargers prioritize not rushing him, maybe perform a little bit more of limited snaps when it comes to him, to make sure, he's 100% healthy against the Steelers, because we're going to need that, because that is set to be a really tough matchup. Sunday Night Football. It's going to be in LA, but, those Steelers fans, I mean, they have the terrible towels, but their fan base is not terrible when it comes to showing up for their team, no matter where they are. So, Austin Douglas looks like he is fully healthy. Mekhi Becton, who has been in and out of games, it seems like, to be every game with a new injury, a finger, a knee, an ankle, but this one is a knee, and he is questionable. I would presume that he would not play this week, especially, who we're playing, who the Tennessee Titans, their best player, Jeffrey Simmons, appears to be, he's not playing, along with their best wide receiver, Calvin Ridley. He's not playing too, and they just got rid of, Roger McCurry. I believe he went to the Eagles, so they don't have a really good cornerback room besides L'Jarius Sneed, besides their all-pro corner Sneed. They will also be without Xavier Woods. They're one of their starting safeties, so that is an eye to keep looking on to see if the Chargers will take advantage of those matchups. Maybe this is room for opportunity for the wide receiver room. I know that Keenan Allen will be utilized a lot if they want to go after that record, but at the same time, I think Herbert and Harbaugh and even Keenan himself, they're not focusing on record books as flashy as they may seem. They just want to get the win and head back home to LA with the W. So we're going to see how that turns out. I'm so glad that Cam Hart is off the injury report. He had an illness, but he is ready to go. Same thing with Ladd McConkey. He had a calf injury, but he was limited until Friday. He was fully participating in practice on Friday, so he is ready to go. Dean Leonard is, like I said, questionable, but he is set to make his 2025 debut. Tarheeb still will be out of this game, so I'm expecting Benjamin St-Juste, Dante Jackson, Cam Hart to be utilized heavy. Maybe we leave some room for the newly acquired off the practice squad rookie, undrafted rookie out of Oregon. Sound familiar? I mean, an Oregon Duck on the Chargers? Sounds very familiar. But anyway, before I get sidetracked into this handsome man, I want to mention Nico Reed, who actually showed a lot of amazing plays during the preseason this year in 2025. He got an interception in the first game of the preseason against the Detroit Lions, and he had multiple other deflections throughout the rest of the preseason. So he looks very promising, and honestly, we are pretty set at defensive back, even with Tony Jefferson, another safety that is down with an injury, and Elijah Molden, who's been playing with a club, he's been strong enough to keep going and to keep playing through that thumb injury, which looks gnarly. I mean, you have multiple screws in your thumb. Ouch. I wonder if he can intercept the ball still. I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't. He has a club on his hand, literally. So shout out Elijah Molden. But we also signed Marcus Williams, veteran from the Ravens and formerly known from the New Orleans Saints. He's an all-pro veteran. He's familiar with Joe Ortiz. It seems like we always want to find any situation the Chargers are making that call, whether it's Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins last year, and then now they got Odafe Owe. And by the way, that trade is looking very even. I mean, Alohi Gilman is making their secondary look better, and Odafe Owe is definitely making the pass rush combo with Thule and Khalil Mack, and even Tahir Tart and even Justin Eboigbe, making it a really effective defensive line. So shout out to that trade, just magically working for both parties. That usually doesn't happen when it comes to trades. So, but yeah, Marcus Williams is a former Raven. Like I said, he probably made the Pro Bowl maybe once or twice. If not, sue me. He's an all-pro safety at one bucket. I only noticed that because a long time ago, he had a very high rating on Madden. So take that as you will. Will Dissly is also questionable. I wouldn't be shocked if there was another week where it was a healthy scratch from not playing due to the production of Oronde Gadsden. That's looking like to be the tight end of a lifetime. And knock on wood that he keeps on balling because he is a stud. So maybe see more of Tucker Fisk as well in that run blocking formation. Maybe Scott Matlock will also line up there in Will Dissly's place. A long snapper Josh Harris could make a return tomorrow, probably sitting out another week. He appears to me he's had a scary injury when it comes to his chest injury, which is very concerning. So I hope he's doing okay. And then obviously what I just mentioned earlier in the episode, Hassan Haskins is out with a hamstring for 4 weeks. And I know the Chargers are going to be like, man, you got to be serious with all these injuries. I've never seen anything like it. And to be fair, being a fan of this team for more than 12 years, I've never seen anything like it. We have 3 running backs on IR. We have had backup O-lines of the backup O-line to fill in and protect Justin Herbert. And man, yeah. Does it make me nervous? Absolutely. But this is the game where, maybe you figure stuff along the way due to the fact that it comes down to who's going to step up and what an experience it will be to do it on probably the NFL's worst team next to the Saints and the Jets. I'm trying to look at who are the running backs that are going to fill in for the Chargers. Just give me a moment. I know that Kamani Vidal, who is continuing to be a very diamond role in the rough when it comes to filling in for the injured running backs, which makes it very promising. He's going to play a big part when Amarian Hampton also comes back from his ankle injury. But Amar Johnson, who showed some flashes in Green Bay during the preseason, he showed some highlights, man. And I would suggest if you don't know who Amar Johnson is, go ahead and take a look. I mean, he's a baller, it presumes to be. When it comes down to the preseason tape that I've seen, he's a physical, strong runner. So we'll see if he gets any touches. Also, it will probably be Jarrett Patterson and Kamani Vidal to be the running backs going forward until Hampton gets healthy. When it comes to the trade deadline, I don't know if Breece Hall will be on the table now that the Jets are asking a 3rd round pick. Yikes, that is a very high price for me in particular. I'm a big fan of the 5th round, 6th round, 4th round maybe. You can convince me, but the 3rd round seems a little bit. We're good enough on Breece Hall. So who can we maybe trade to get? I would love to get Tyler Algier. I think the Falcons are in a tricky situation. They're beating the Buffalo Bills, but losing to the Dolphins. Like, what is that team? Same thing with Bijan Robinson. You had 200 rushing yards one week and then 22 the next week. Like, I don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe even give them a call, and if Tyler Algier is available, I think he fits the Harbaugh scheme very well. And also Jerome Ford, who's just not getting any touches in Cleveland. Maybe you can even finesse a way to get a 6th or a 7th round pick offered to Cleveland to make sure, you can get that going on. And yeah, those are the running backs that I would kind of lean more forward for. And also the Chargers making maybe an offensive lineman move before the deadline next week. And it's already next week, so we'll see if we'll make any trades. But you see what the trades can do. It can lead up to. The pass rush was almost non-existent, excluding, Thule balling. There was nobody really applying that much pressure when Khalil Mack wasn't in the game. And now that he is, Khalil Mack's applying pressure. Justin Aboigbe is putting some pressure down along with Tier Tart, and, having that Odafe Owe piece really was a benefit for the Los Angeles Chargers. And so maybe that's an experiment. Maybe that's an experiment that Joe Ortiz is like, hey, maybe we trade for another stud to make this team good. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. And when it comes to the Chargers game plan going into Tennessee, how can we just walk out of there with a dub? Nobody gets hurt, for the love of God. Nobody gets hurt. Knock on wood. Nobody gets hurt in this meaningless game. This should be a walk in the park, especially with Joe Alt being healthy enough to stay remaining as the starting left tackle, including Calvin Ridley, their best receiver, and Jeffrey Simmons, probably the team's best player, not playing. Take advantage of those matchups. Take advantage of the run game. Take advantage of, Quentin Johnston didn't get a target or a catch last game. How about you utilize him more? How about you utilize Trey Harris more? Arondé Gadsden, Ladd McConkey, Keenan Allen. You have Kamani Vidal that can receive it of the ball as well as rush it. I'm very curious about Amar Johnson, how well he would do if he got maybe 2 to 3 touches. See what he got, Kamani Vidal was a 6th round pick last year, didn't really get that much playing time, although he got, his first career catch was a touchdown, which was phenomenal. He didn't really show a lot of spark, but now he's making some damages on really bad run defenses. And that's what the Tennessee Titans are. They're really bad at the run defense, especially when their star defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons is out. What I expect is Justin Herbert to throw the ball a little lighter than he did against Minnesota, and especially lighter against Indianapolis. However, I really do think that, the Chargers receiver core will be way too much for the Titans secondary, so I expect Justin Herbert to have a really good day. We just can't shoot ourselves in the foot when it comes to turnovers, especially turnovers in the red zone. Always take advantage of the defense when it comes to mismatches. If you see Kamani Vidal lined up on a linebacker, give it a shot. See what happens. If you see Aronde Gaston one-on-one with a linebacker, target that all day long. If you see a safety try to pick up Lad McConkey or Keenan Allen in the slot, take advantage. Take advantage of what they give you. So that's my word for the offense. And then when it comes to the defense, I really hope that they give Cam Ward a really tough time when it comes to pass rush, blitz schemes, and we got to force a turnover or two in there just to get the confidence a little bit more boosted going into the Pittsburgh game, which is going to be a tough one. Although Aaron Rodgers is a dinosaur, he still has a really solid offense and a really solid defense around him. This is probably a very intense practice for the Steeler game, is how I would watch this. You know what? Anything can happen on any given Sunday. Am I still nervous that we might lose? Absolutely, but we'll never know until the next episode, where I recap the Tennessee Titans versus the Los Angeles Chargers and also preview the Chargers versus the Steelers. But until then, have a great rest of your night. Once again, sending love to the Deion Henley family and to Deion Henley through this tough time. And Bolt fam is sending love. The NFL community is sending love. Just know you have our support. And I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Peace. Bolt up!